Y'all, I am doing the artist way like Doechii did, because one thing about me, I'ma seek a breakthrough. And if I don't have a breakthrough coming my way, I'ma go out and find it. The theme of week 1 is recovering a sense of safety. Gonna come with me, y'all gonna see my morning pages, y'all gonna see me going on this artist date, which was very outside of my comfort zone. So with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if y'all have any questions of anything I do in here, feel free to list them in the comments. Make sure y'all stay tuned to the end of this vlog, because I'm gonna show y'all all the pages of week 1 if y'all want to do it, but you don't want to buy it, because you know I gotta look out for y'all. Good morning, you guys. This is a bad angle, eyes puffy, breath stank, but honey, this is me. This is Monday, week 1 of the artist's way. We're doing the morning pages. Y'all, me and Jamie are out here doing some grounding and meditation work, and we got our feet grinded, head ass, nasty ass. And yeah, we about to meditate, do some prayers, and then be about our day. Hey, cousin.
Okay, bitch, you ain't gotta be. Toes need to be done.
Toes needed to be done. Feet finders.
Shut up, bitch.
But see, this is the summer we're gonna have the audacity of white people. You know how white people just come out anyway?
Big and bad. I'm sorry.
Exactly, man. And honey, black people can tan too. It's called getting your skin even.
Yeah,
because we already got the pigment.
Yeah, actually, it's better for us to tan because with supplements too. That's important because our pigment. Like, you must be home if they come give us some water and shit.
Okay, shut up. Girl, me and Jamie are tanning.
I miss my mouth.
Among other things. Okay, y'all, so one of the tasks that it says is take your artist for a walk. The two of you. A brisk 20-minute walk can dramatically alter your consciousness. So today we are gonna go for the artist walk. Which really isn't anything new for me, because if y'all been watching me for a while, y'all already know a bitch goes for walks. So we finna go on this 20-minute walk. It's about 1:15, so let's get into it. For the last part of this artist walk, I'm gonna go on the swing with my grown ass. Hey guys, so I hope you can hear me. I'm in the middle of filming a different YouTube video, but I want to put a clip in my Artist Way vlog for context. So if you see this outfit in multiple videos, you'll understand why. But you know me, I ain't never been ashamed to be an outfit repeater. So for the first week of my Artist Way, you do a solo date that feeds your inner artist spirit, or feeds something to help get out of your roadblocks or your self-sabotage. The artist date I'm going on, and you have to do the artist date by yourself, I'm going on the bus. And some people are like, bitch, you're taking the bus? The last time I remember taking a bus was when I got fired from the nursing home job I had July 19th of 2019. When I got fired from that nursing home job, it created a block in me I didn't realize I had till about a couple years ago. I'm 31 years old, and I'm not ashamed to admit, bitch, I don't drive. And to be honest, I can get my license. I know I can pass the test, even if I have to take the test 10,000 times. Like, I know I could be driving, and I should be driving at this age, but I'm not. And I do have a little bit of anxiety about driving. And some people can even say, like, maybe it's like a generational block, because my grandmother didn't drive. My mom doesn't drive, but she has all these nieces and nephews that always take her around and stuff like that. And now I don't drive, but I can always get around. So it's like 3 generations of people who chose not to drive. I've always felt like I should have my license, but the fact that I don't, that's completely on me. So moving on from that, so pretty much what I'm saying, because I'm just so fucking long-winded, the outside voices I created in my own mind was pretty much saying, bitch, you should be embarrassed to still be on the bus at this age when you should be driving, when at the end of the day, transportation is transportation. Are you on time? My attendance have never suffered. I've been on time to every job, never been late for no shit. Uber, taxi, or a bus, honey, I made it there on time. My own negative self-talk, no matter what anybody else said, my own negative self-talk was like, bitch, you need to do better. Bitch, you shouldn't be on the bus. So I stopped taking the bus for a while because I put it with a shame of something I haven't accomplished yet when I have all the power to do it. I just have personally chosen not to, which I do need to get on. I realized I was so nervous about being seen on the bus and what somebody might think, I didn't realize you stopped living and just continued existing. Bitch, I used to solo travel all the time. I am gonna stop looking for people to have adventures with. And even if I have to do solo adventures by getting from point A to point B on the bus, I'm gonna do it again. The only way for me to dismantle and kill that insecurity is to get my ass on the bus. So my date for the Artist Way week 1 is gonna be getting on the bus and being seen, even if it's by people I don't know. Y'all, it is crazy that I'm standing at this bus stop. I'm outside of the old job I had back in 2019, which was the last job I actually had before social media started paying my bills. And I was here July 19, 2019. And it's crazy how my first time back on the bus, I'm having like a full circle moment back where it all began and the blockage started. Okay, so as you've seen from this artist date, I'm at this bus stop, and this bus stop is the same bus stop I was at July 19, 2019, like 7 years ago when I first stopped taking the bus. And I feel like that's a full circle moment because I got on the bus to go to the beach. As you guys saw, did my journal pages in X, Y, and Z. Boom, right? The beach I was normally at, I've been to that beach many times, and yes, it's down the street from my old job. However, I've never had to walk down the street. I usually either get driven there, or there's always other bus stops you can be at where you don't have to be outside of the old job. After I spend like the whole morning at the beach, right? It's around 11, 12. I'm coming to look for the bus stop for the inbound bus, and there's no bus stop there. So now I'm realizing the only bus stop to get to is the one down the street outside of my job. And I just find it like weird because like, what are the odds? Because back when I worked there 7 years ago, there were bus stops there. There were other bus stops I could have stood at. But this time I could not find the bus stops that are normally there. So here I am. The last time I was on the bus, I was at that bus stop. And to go home, I had to stand at that same bus stop. And the fact that one of the fears I had was being seen by people I once knew, me being outside of my old job, what are the odds? I'm just saying, like, I'm not, one thing about it, I don't believe in coincidences. So, full circle type shit. As you guys know, I'm doing week 1 of The Artist Way. Got the book off of eBay because it was $7, opposed to like Amazon where it's $14. The only downside with eBay is it doesn't have like the Amazon Prime shipping where you get it the next day. But I'm like, sometimes we need to be able to be in a world where we can order shit and wait for it. Of course, it is an older edition. As you see, it's the 25th anniversary edition. I think it's on the 30th edition now. However, we're doing week 1, and on week 1, it has tasks you can do throughout the week. Like journal prompts or activities you can do. Like one of them is write a letter about 3 people in your life who didn't believe in your creativity. AKA write some shit on your biggest haters. That's what they're trying to say, but in proper terms. And you just write about the times of when you felt that they didn't have belief in you, or when somebody teased you for your creativity, because a lot of time people will tease you about your gifts and what you're talented in until it becomes trendy and popular and it gets you that money. And I'm gonna put the page on the screen, so just in case any of y'all who don't want to buy it but want to do it, I got y'all back. Yeah, so for the task at the end of chapter 1, which is week 1, you have 1 through 10 tasks, and the first 3 tasks are the non-negotiables that you have to do. It's the morning pages where you wake up in the morning and you write 3 pages. It's pretty much you do a brain dump onto pen and paper. The second non-negotiable of this is you got to take yourself on 1 artist date a week. So some of the other prompts that I've done of this are, one of the prompts that interests me is, it says time travel. List 3 old enemies of your creative self-worth. Please be specific as possible with this exercise. Your historic monsters are building blocks of your negative beliefs. So pretty much the people who hated on you, you'll always remember how somebody made you feel. So that was one of the first prompts I did. Another prompt I did is imaginary lives. It says, if you had 5 lives to lead, what would you do in each of them? So instead of writing down 5 alternative paths I would like to do, I'll make a junk journal spread about them. So that's what I did. My 5 imaginary lives. And honestly, they say imaginary, but I could see myself doing a plot twist sometime down in my life and doing all of these at the same damn time. Nothing's impossible, bitch. We got free will. A bed and breakfast owner, a gardener, which I already am, but I want to be like a gardener farmer, like a tulip farm. I want to work in a spiritual store, be a teacher of some sort, or be a lawyer, because a bitch loves a Legally Blonde moment. So yeah, I did the imaginary lives, I did the list 3 old enemies, and then to balance out the 3 old enemies, I did list 3 people that you remember from your past that encouraged your creativity, because it's easy for us to, you know, give energy to the haters, but let's balance it out. So yeah, they have so many writing prompts, and you don't have to do all the writing prompts. I just picked the ones I liked, so I did those ones. And then the last one I did also was take yourself for an artist walk, the 2 of you. So pretty much your artist self and your younger artist self. A brisk 20-minute walk can dramatically alter your consciousness. So as we know, as y'all see for all my vlogs, a bitch be out in nature. Me and nature's like this. So me going for a walk, as y'all seen in the vlog, it wasn't nothing big for me. It wasn't nothing new for me. I did get on the swings because I needed to let my inner childhood just swing and have a good motherfucking time.
I'm lucky I had these people that like, oh, this where you at in life? Well, I like your style and taste and thoughts, so I'm gonna tune in, and 9 times out of 10, I'm rocking with it. And you gotta be there, because if you bleed art and you making stuff that is not reflective of where you at right then and there, you gonna keep yourself back and then become stagnant and like be your own lack of a growth spurt. What do you call it? When you don't grow. Yeah, thank you. I glitched. Yeah, like you'll stunt your own growth by not painting what you really want to paint right there, because you want a few buyers at the museum to cop it. Like, you can't do that. You gotta just keep it running and be honest with it. And then, if you're really a student, you'll know how to package it to where it might be a bit more digestible for folks who's instantly gonna be
Okay, it is day 7 of the Artist Way, and I'm doing my morning pages. I don't even know if you can see it. I'm doing my morning pages, and since I did 7 days of these morning pages, they do empty out your mind in a good way, where it's like your mind is already going. So I do recommend them. And I think in my normal life, what I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate the morning pages probably Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays and Sundays, because as I'm writing it, doing it 7 days a week is very doable. I like the technique of it. Yes, doing 3 pages can be very grueling, especially when you don't have shit to say and your brain is still foggy. So sometimes you just gonna be babbling and it ain't gonna make no sense. But honey, get that shit out. Hey guys, so before I end out the video, I decided let's do a creative overview of week 1 and pretty much everything that I summed up in what I've learned. So pretty much, and I got my notes down here, so if you're wondering why I'm looking down, that's what I'm looking at. Week 1 is pretty much creative recovery. It's getting back in the flow of acknowledging your creativity and being okay in dealing with the shadow side of the hurt your creativity has caused, rather that leads you to getting bullied and made fun of, because it's always, until your shit catches on, everybody's always gonna think you're the weird one. First week is pretty much gonna be you establishing a sense of safety to allow yourself to create again without fear. One of the questions I had to ask myself is, how have we stopped creating ourselves creatively? So how have I stopped presenting myself creatively? And I remember as a child, think about childhood. You know how they say children are so unfiltered, and they'll say the first thing that comes to their mind, whether it's rude or nice. Think of the way you used to create without perfectionism, the way you used to create in adolescence with just pure, I just want to see what it's going to be. I just want to try it. I just want to see what the outcome's going to be. You didn't care about perfection. Create with the mindset of a child, but through adult eyes. So you know how the execution can be and work towards that execution. Don't work towards perfection. Perfection can't teach you nothing because it's already perfect. Being an artist and creativity is like a synonym. They go hand in hand. The way I've stopped showing up creatively is growing up gay. Sometimes, even though I come from a very accepting family, it was cool at home, but when I got out into school in the real world, that's when the internalized homophobia was born. Not from my house, and usually in black family, it's vice versa. You know, your first bullies are in your home. My bullies and my internalized homophobia was born through going into school. Growing up gay, we perform straightness to assimilate and fit in, get away from the bullying and the harassment that comes with being flamboyant or feminine in nature at times. I realized a lot of my artistry and creativity shows up in my flamboyant nature, especially when I was a child. And when I let it out, kids at school teased me because it was feminine. So what happened is, since I got teased and I realized me showing a pure version of myself with no filters and me just showing up the way I did in whatever scenario, I started sheltering and critiquing my behavior depending on who I was around. And since I critiqued and changed my behavior to fit into whatever society norms were, and I'm talking mainly for like elementary school, middle school, high school, bitch, I was balls to the wall, no pun intended. I kept on conforming to societal standards. It ended up making me put down my creativeness, because my creativeness was in the way I talked, the way I carried myself, the way I wanted to try new things, the way me and my friends acted, the way we would act out scenes from our favorite movies, the way we pretend to be cheetah girls and stuff like that. And I was always Raven Simone. I'm just saying. It's like I just stopped showing up authentically the way I wanted to. Sometimes being yourself, a young gay boy authentically, can get you hurt, if not killed. And with that understanding, I became hyper aware of how I perceived. And since my creativity as a child was based in how I act, because I was very like theatrical, a social butterfly, since I had to conform it and dim it down, me dimming down my duality, I was dimming down my creativity at the same damn time in the name of survival. So this is me editing, and pretty much what I realized, what I wanted to say is, my queerness was my creativity, because within my queerness, my LGBTQness, whatever you want to classify it as, it was me discovering who I was, how I wanted to present, and forging my own path to know what was my identity and what rang true to me. You know how everybody has those moments of becoming in their adolescent? Queerness was my creativity. And since it was hindered by certain environments and certain schools I went in because it wasn't safe, I had to play not only respectability politics, but to an extent, I had to play safety politics. My queerness is my creativity. And within that era of my life, elementary school, mainly middle school, I had to suppress it, and I wasn't able to be free and creative online. So I became hyper aware of how I was perceived. As I said earlier, before school started, I wasn't raised in a household where gay or otherness was demonized, because I was raised full of women who lived outside of the otherness binary. Like, I had aunts that knew Deuteronomy but could cuss you out without losing a curl from their Jerry curl. I had a mom and a grandmother who was psychic. Like, I grew up around these radical women who were born just outside of social norms, or what's perceived as social norms. So growing up in such a household with such creative alpha women, and then going into school where it was like, you know, you act this way, and I still rebelled against it, because, you know, one thing people who know me knows, like, I never, even when I tried to like calm it down, me calming myself down and toning my personality down and my creativity down was still bright and out there. But yeah, I realized my creativity from a young age, and a lot of the blocks I've been unlearning since I would say about 25, and I'm 31 now, has come from the way I had to conform my social identity of my queerness. It gave birth to within my head a double consciousness that I didn't realize I had. You know, the younger me was so expressive until I wasn't. And the sad thing about it is, now looking at it from a grown perspective, I would lie to fit in when I was already on the outside. So this first week of the Artist Way is pretty much like I told people. First week is just shadow work of your creativity. And I already started my shadow work on my spiritual journey. So this was just more just welcomed exercises. And on a scale from 1 to 10, I would rate this a 6.5. It does make you dig deep if you do the work. If you don't really do the work and you just do it for face value, it just appears like, okay, let me just remember some hard times or some tough times, and then you move on. And you're really not going to get nothing out of it if you don't try to put the pieces of your own puzzle together, because you're a lot more complex than the surface level emotions that you think are the deep down emotions. Okay, so just in case some of y'all don't want to buy it, I'm going to give y'all time to screenshot some of the tasks you do at the end of the chapter. So here's this one. Those are the morning pages. I hope this is coming out clear. I'll give y'all a minute. I just put a star by the ones I did. But yeah, and then starting next week, we'll be on week 2, and that theme is recovering a sense of identity.